All right, guys, I want to make a second quick video for the day. I I'm looking at the mock draft, and I already know this has been said weeks ago that the Miami Heat has they have a 1.0% chance of getting the number one pick. They have us at the 13th pick, and that's typically where we are year in and year out. You know, especially when we don't make the playoffs or when we make the 8 seed or whatever. We're typically around the 13 to 14 pick. I mean, that's what it's been for the last 10 plus years. I'll say this: if we do get a top five, the top three pick in the lottery, I'll be honest, guys. I don't trust this team to develop that player properly. I've been a Heat fan for 17 years now, and I'm gonna just tell you straight up: I've seen this team not properly develop players under the Erik Spoelstra's gene or regime, especially. Um, Dwayne Wade was obviously not under Erik Spoelstra; he was under Stan Van Gundy, and Dwayne Wade actually developed properly. But if you guys remember, Dwayne Wade recently made a video saying that, because the guy was, they were asking him, why weren't you a great 3 point shooter, or does it bother you that you weren't a quote unquote great shooter? I'm gonna stop you right there. Dwayne Wade was a very good shooter. He was a good mid range shooter. Obviously, he can score inside. He was a rim. He can get to the rim like we've never seen before. That was Dwayne Wade's game. The reason why Dwayne Wade wasn't able to develop a 3 pointer later in his career is because Erik Spoelstra was his coach, guys. Uh, Erik Spoelstra wanted Dwayne Wade to continue to slash and cut to the rim and make better looks for other role players like UD, James Jones, uh, um, um, Shannon Brown, or not Shannon Brown, sorry. Um, you get the point. All those guys we had back in the day. Uh, Mario Chalmers. Dwayne Wade's job was to create better looks for everybody else. And in theory, if you want to win games, that works. But if you wanted to develop a player's aging star's ability, you want to prolong his career because he can't slash and dash forever. He's going to have to develop a 3 point jumper. And the Miami Heat, Erik Spoelstra, they never wanted that for Dwayne Wade, and so Dwayne Wade never did it. Because Dwayne Wade said in the interview that I could have been a better 3 point shooter if I was pushed to do that. If they needed me to do that, I could do anything you need me to do. But they wanted to make their bread and butter off of Dwayne Wade slashing for his whole career, and that's why Dwayne Wade broke down. Even in their big three era, he was already starting showing cracks. He was breaking down because you can't expect a player, especially a guy that already had a torn, a meniscus removal in college, coming from Marquette, and you expect him to slash his whole career. Like, that's crazy. You expect a guy like Dwayne Wade or anybody to break down eventually. It's gonna happen. But that's my point. I'm getting away from my big point. They never developed his 3 point. This 3 pointer. Michael Beasley was a great prospect. I still think to this day Michael Beasley could have been just as good as Kevin Durant. Guys, I'm serious when I say that. Michael Beasley had the inside out game. He was a good rebounder. He wasn't a great defender, but that could have developed. I know he had his attitude issues and he was young in Miami during the time. I get all of that, but that's any player. That's kind of an excuse. Michael Beasley if he had the right coach in the beginning of his career to ring him in, I believe Michael Beasley could have been still in the league right now as we speak, or at least at the end of his career. But he had Erik Spoelstra as his coach, his rookie coach for his rookie years, and and of course when the Big Three came, the Miami Heat disposed Michael Beasley for LeBron James and Chris Bosh. I mean, you're gonna do that if you're given LeBron and Chris Bosh. I mean, let's just be honest here. But my point is, he wasn't developed right, and he was sat on the bench constantly. And no disrespect to UD40, but Udonis Haslam was playing in front of him. I remember, I think Michael Beasley recently said in the Shannon Sharp interview that they had guys like fucking, I can't think of that dude's name that's played with the Miami Heat. I gotta look him up right quick, guys, because it is slipping my mind. Sorry, guys. I gotta get his name. Where is he? James Ennis III. Yes. James Ennis was put in front of Michael Beasley. And Michael Beasley was like, I mean, they wanted James Ennis to be the next LeBron James, which was crazy. And yes, that's crazy, man. Even then, if you would have told me that back in 2015 that the Miami Heat's looking to move James Ennis as the next LeBron replacement, I would have looked at you fucking crazy. But that's what they were doing, and it didn't make sense. And I do believe Erik Spoelstra doesn't like young players. Look what he's doing with Khalil Ware. Look what he did with Hassan Whiteside. Even Whiteside done a couple things that made himself look bad, but look what he did to Whiteside. Bam Adebayo, the only reason Bam was able to develop into the player he is today because they didn't have a choice. They traded Hassan Whiteside and Bam was the next man up, so he didn't have a choice but to develop. On a bad team, might I add. If this was a good Miami Heat team, there would be no Bam Adebayo, there would be no 83-point scorer. That's why in this upcoming draft, I don't trust the Miami Heat. Even if we had a top 3 pick, I don't trust them to develop them with this coaching staff. If it was me, I would make Caron Butler the new head coach for the Miami Heat because I've seen him. He is very good with the young guys. He puts confidence in the young guys. He is a lot different from Erik Spoelstra. I wouldn't mind Caron Butler, a Heat legend, being the next head coach. Cohen Cook is okay, but definitely Caron Butler. Not Quinn Cook, you know what I mean. Not Quinn Cook. But yeah, that's kind of where we are right now. I don't trust this Erik Spoelstra led team, and Chris Quinn, that's what I meant. This Chris Quinn or Caron Butler, I can see as the next coaches for the Miami Heat. But I don't trust this Erik Spoelstra led coaching staff to develop anybody. And this all goes back to what I said in my last video. This is bigger than Erik Spoelstra. This comes down to Mickey Arison and Pat Riley, more so Mickey Arison. Erik Spoelstra has been the Miami Heat's coach for, I think, 18 years now. He has the greatest fucking coaching job security in history. For the only 2 championships that he delivered with a Big 3, might I add you, when one of the greatest players of all time, and then one of the greatest Miami Heat player of all time, and a top 15 player at the time, and Chris Bosh. Of course, you should have won more than 2 rings. Honestly, you should have won in 2011. But that's a different argument for a different day. This guy's job security is top notch. I've seen coaches, the Orlando Magic coach, Nick Nurse being literally fucking fired, 3 years later after the Toronto championship. I've seen so many coaches get moved around. Even Steve Kerr is quietly getting pushed out the door, guys. And he's delivered 4 championships for the Golden State Warriors. But Erik Spoelstra, for some reason, this guy has the greatest NBA job plot armor in the world. His job security is up there, guys. And he's currently has 6 years left in his deal. I don't see him going anywhere, sadly, unless the Miami Heat just get fed up and fire him. But I don't see that happening either. He's been the coach for almost 20 years. So it is what it is. I do hope we do get a top 3 pick, but I'm not sure if that top 3 pick will be developed properly. I don't even believe Khalil Ware. He may get traded mid-season next year. I just don't trust his team, and I don't trust Erik Spoelstra to be the guy to develop new talent. You got to get a different coach to develop young talent like that. And I think Caron Butler would be an excellent next head coach for the Miami Heat. So, you guys tell me what you think. Heat Life for 305 out. Let's get it.